Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. Today I have a Craftsman, what is it, an LT1000? Like early 2000s. It's a neighbor's tractor, asked me to go take a look at it. Last time they tried using it, it was farting and coughing and backfiring. It would not start when they're trying to crank it over. And I said, alright, I'll go take a look at it. So I figured I'd turn the camera on and you and I can go figure it out together. It's running 18 horse Briggs, and it's got crap inside the shroud. I have a feeling it's got a mouse nest inside it. It's like usually a telltale area. Yeah, it's got, yeah, definitely. So it's a decent motor of this style engine because it has an oil filter on it, so it's a pressurized lube system instead of a splash. And I don't know what other else it's going to need, but I guess we'll figure it out together. Let's hop on it. I've done nothing. The only thing I did is pushed it in the garage. We got nothing. I believe it's been sitting. I don't think they used it last year for cutting grass, so the earliest it was probably used is maybe the year before that. What do I want to do? Let me try to hook up some kind of power supply or jumper pack or something to the battery and see if we can get the crank and get a first-hand deal with what's going on with it. Let's see if it's got oil in it first before we do anything. That's a little low. Not terribly dirty, so that's a good sign. Looks kind of wet around the engine though. Alright, let me get you set up on a stand and I'll get something and we'll continue on. So I locked the brake pedal down. The problem is the seat's got the safety on it and I don't believe it's going to crank if I try hooking to the battery's underneath the seat. So we'll just take our jumper pack and we'll go right to the starter. And we'll use the starter switch and turn the key on. It should still go. Ground. Go for ground right there. Keys in the on position. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that's got no compression whatsoever. So we definitely have an issue. More than likely it has a mouse nest in it, like I was saying, and I bet you it overheated and probably blew the head gasket, but it could have done other damage to the head. So let me get the hood off and we'll start taking the shroud off, get in there, and we'll see what's happening. I got up in the air. It's all the screws are out of the cover. Let's get rid of that and see what we have in store. Not terrible. I expected to see a lot more crap inside it. Yeah, it's got some. I'm looking, I can see down in there, the air has to blow around those areas. I do see it real dark over here. I still think it has probably a blown head gasket. I'm not sure. I am probably going to pop the plug out of it, make sure it's just not totally blown up, and we'll make sure the piston's still going up and down. I got the plug out of it. Yeah, it still goes up and down. Alright, good. The plug itself is quite oil soaked, very rich. I'd say I am going to take some time. I'll spare you guys the noise. I'm going to blow a bunch of this crap off of here so that when we open it up there's just not so much junk in the way, and we'll start pulling stuff away and we'll get to the rockers, see how they look, and work our way into pulling that cylinder head off. So I unscrewed the exhaust and the intake, just got them away from the head. We got 4 screws going around the valve cover. Let me go grab a rag first. It may decide to ooze some out. would say somebody's been in here before me. That came off way too easy, and that is way too clean. Something's up there. Alright. That is not good. Alright. So I don't think it blew a head gasket. I think probably the valve seat. It overheated, and the valve seat is dislodged from the cylinder head, and that's why this valve is not returning all the way, and it doesn't have compression. So that kind of explains still why there's no mouse nest in it. It got removed, and after the damage was done, and it overheated, and it now has the aftermath of that. But we can continue to take it apart just for the hell of it, and it may be fixable. I don't think cylinder heads are all that expensive, and there actually is a way to fix those, but let's confirm that that's what that is. Let's get the cylinder head the rest of the way off and look internally. Alright, so I cracked the bolts loose on the head, and I'll take them off with the gun, and we'll see what we got going on underneath here. Ah, the anticipation. You get them all? Well, there you go. The seat is popped out of the saddle. So that's why it won't run. Let's see if it has a blown head gasket too. Generally it'll blow right in this area. I don't see it. I did a quickie to see if I can find the cylinder head when I went in and grabbed a cup of coffee. They used to be really cheap. Something just fell out. They used to be really cheap on the rocker tabs. Let me go find the other one before we lose that one. There you go. And I did not see them listed on eBay anymore. They used to be like the gasket, the cylinder head, and everything for like 69 bucks. I gotta take a better look, but I would say maybe we'll continue, wash this one up, and we'll take that apart and we'll see how bad that guy is as far as the aluminum getting opened up around the valve there. And possibly we can what's called punch the head and close that gap up. So let me go put some gloves on. I'll go over to parts washer, we'll wash that thing up, and we'll disassemble and see what we can do. Alright, it's had bath time. Cleaned it up. And so now we have to get the keepers off of this. I'm going to try it the way it is. I might have to try to push the valve in and get the seat in so that it elongates enough to get those out. But let's try it first. This is a valve tool meant for a small engine. It's going to be close to getting those keepers out. I have a feeling I'm not going to have enough room. Yeah, they're not going to have enough room. Let's see. Get my glove stuck in there. Now my glove is definitely stuck in there. Sometimes I've seen this too. If you crank it long enough, it actually reseats itself. It'll run for a while, but then it'll fall back out again. I don't know, is that enough? Oh, they had it. It's actually a piece of metal from something else. Yeah, I'm still not going to be able to get that. Let me work on getting that seat all the way in, and then we'll get it apart. How about if we just use our man hands and just kind of go for it? Just kind of. So close. There's one. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, when you guys want to work the magnet for me? Anything else to push with? One more time, we'll just go for it. Come on. You little bastard. There we go. Now it's probably stuck in there, yeah. Let's pry on that puppy ever so gingerly, because I want to clean it up before I tap it back down in. There it goes. Alright, so that's the seat that the valve rides on, and that are supposed to make a seal. I just want to look at those real good, make sure they didn't take any damage. Generally they're hardened and they hold up pretty well. I don't see anything. I see a little bit of chomp marks right there where it was hammering on itself. Looks pretty good. I actually think this one's going to be quite easily saved. I shouldn't have said that. Alright, I'm going to go, and what do I want to go do? Take a wire wheel, and I'm just going to go clean this up. I'm going to go clean the valve up, and go clean the seat up, and we'll see if we can reassemble it. This might be a little soft, but I have a brass wire wheel. This one's going to be too aggressive. I already did the outside on the bench wire wheel. That looks pretty good. You can see that right there and right there, the edge is hammered a little bit. I really don't want to take off any material. I just don't want it to fight me trying to put the seat in, so just going to try and gall a little bit with the file, just for any burrs that are sticking inward. Seat. If they're real bad, they just fall right in. This one, the other thing is I don't want to cock it sideways neither. I kind of want to try and tap it in even going around. My good old faithful brass rod here. Might go with a socket. Would suck if I put that end upside down, huh? Make sure it's home. I'll hit you in the head there. That looks pretty good. Let me just pop the valve in there for a second. And let's spin that valve. Valve looks good, doesn't look bent. Alright, so now what I want to do, this is called punch in the head. You want a tapered punch. And we're just going to put little punch marks kind of going around it. And what that does, it kind of makes the aluminum, it makes this hole smaller, essentially. You're squishing material to the outside. So we're just going to go around it and give it some love taps. Am I blocking your guys' view? Yeah, that ain't any better. And all that really does is just take the aluminum that's up above and kind of makes it just fold over that lip a little bit. It should be good. Again, what happens is when it overheats, all this metal gets so hot, it grows and expands away, and then the seat just falls right out. I think that will do us pretty good. So now we just got to put the keepers back on and just spring in all and clean up the surface over there and put it back together. I got the compressor on there. Let's see if we can work those keepers in there without losing them. Thin side goes down. It's got a taper to it. I don't know if that's going to show up. They got a taper to them, like a cone. They're going to fit in a groove. First one's the easy one though, because you got room to work. I think that's got it. Let's back that compressor off. And that's that. Looks good to me. Good as used. So I moved over to the engine and I started cleaning that up, and I pulled the gasket off, and where are we? Here, like that. So I pulled the gasket off and it was blown. You could see right there that right across there it kicked all the material out. So that in turn puts a bunch of compression into the oil galley, or the bottom end of the engine, and pushes oil out in different areas. So that explains all the crap that you see around the motor too, because that's what was happening. So it needed a head gasket too. And just so happens that in my hoard, this dusty, dirty old package, I have a brandy new one. Usually order a couple at a time because of the shipping online. They're not too bad. I think they're like 16 bucks or so. So let's get that wire wheel and kind of cleaned up, clean up the top of the piston. We'll start reassembling. So I got that cleaned up. A new gasket. Gotta look up the cylinder head torque. I think it was 22. I'm not positive of that. So, good old internet will help us out there. Let's get a couple of bolts in there. Buzz them in. Gotta double check my sizes. And anyway, we're gonna get that buzzed in, and we'll start reassembling the rockers and setting the valves. I gotta look that up too, the valve spec. So did a little homework, and the intake valve is 4 thou, the exhaust is 6 thousand. It's supposed to be 220 inch-pounds is the torque. Converted that over to foot-pounds is 18.33, and we are set probably 19 on this because my gauge is it's not as fine as it probably looks like it starts at 15, but the first number you see is 20, so I'm just a hair under 20. And we are just gonna zigzag our way around her. Get them all soaked down, soaked down. The problem with these things blowing head gaskets is on the right side of the engine there is kind of like missing a bolt. There's a large span. Basically, you pretty much, you look, and every, I probably could have done a better pattern than that. Every bolt is roughly 2 or 3 inches apart. I'm just going to go over them all once again. Make sure they're all brought up to spec. On the old head gasket, so you could see that you got a pretty good area, you know, all around here, but from here to here where this blows out, it really should have another bolt probably built into it to suck it down right there. So that's why they always fail right in that one location, just because there's no support. All right, let's go get the push rod set up, put back in, then we'll go adjust the valves. And let's go adjust some valves. Screwdriver, we've got to go find out what top dead center is and on the compression stroke. So I want that piston to be all the way up, which it is right there, and you can see that neither of the valves are moving. If I went another round, you can see that I'm not on the compression stroke and the valves are moving. Of course, you can't adjust them there, so you gotta go around again. There's our high side. What was it? Intake 4? Yeah, intake is 4, exhaust is 6. Intake, although the port is on the top, it actually bends down to the bottom, so that's actually the intake valve. And the aluminum push rod, it's got 2 different push rods. I'm not sure why they do that. One's got aluminum, one's got a steel push rod. Is that 4? That's 4. So we're going to want that guy. Where's my Allen wrench? You think I'd be better prepared for this, wouldn't you? So I need Allen wrench and a regular wrench. Hold on. I was always one of those kids that didn't have his homework ready for class. Alright, so it's a 10mm and we got an Allen wrench in the middle of that. So we're just going to go spin. These have already been loosened up. We're going to go try to run it to get it close. And then just feel for the correct drag. That feels pretty good. Let's go try the other one. There's a built-in decompression valve on these engines too, so you kind of want that spec in there pretty good. And what if you make them too loose, when it goes to go over the hump, it'll have a hard time cranking over. So I'm just gonna go spin them, kind of let it settle in for a second. I just want to double check them one more time. Kind of let the push rod settle, you know. Four. That feels right. And 6. That's a little tight. Nope. Just the slop in the carriage there. My bent feeler gauge is not helping this anyway, either. We'll leave that alone. So, just going to do a bunch of reassembly. We're going to take the valve cover, we're going to go clean this crap off of here that's on there, put a little bit of right stuff on there. I don't know if there's even a gasket on there. That might just be all kind of sealer. Not sure. I'm going to look underneath the microscope before I pull that apart. If there's a gasket still on there, I'm just going to clean the surface and put right stuff over it. Put that on. Bolt all our stuff, our exhaust, our intake back on it again, and maybe just go put the jumper pack on it and give it a good listen and make sure that we got a good cranking sound going. The gasket, there was a gasket on there, but it was just turning into dust, so we went with the good old right stuff. And I'll let that set up for about 10 or 15 minutes, get a little bit of a body to it. And we're going to go bolt that down lightly, so make contact, let it sit up for about another 10 minutes, and then draw it in the rest of the way, and we should be fine. And in the interest of full disclosure, I forgot something. I forgot to put the little rockers on the end of the valves. That's why my feeler gauge was dragging kind of funny. Listen, if I was perfect, you'd have to pay me more. So, I'm going to readjust the valves and do it all over again, but you got the idea. So I got it all back together, as far as, you know, just the tins aren't on it yet, but I kind of want to listen to it. We'll turn the key off so it doesn't start. We're just going to go crank and listen to it, make sure the compression sounds good. Oh, that sounds better. What do you think? Try to start it? Turn the key on. I have no idea what the fuel system's like. I didn't get into the carburetor or anything. We'll just give it a wing. I don't know if the seat safety is going to be getting us for spark. It shouldn't. Maybe go throw a plug in it, make sure we got spark. Let's see if that thing sparks. What am I doing? Jumper pack. Yeah. Well, that plug ain't any good, huh? You see the arcing all over the place? So, I'm going to say it's probably starving for fuel and the carb's all gunky, crappy. Do I have anything in my little magic bottle over here? Yeah. Let's give it a little bit of that. See if it'll kick. Good. Gonna burn off all that crap. So open the door and let that blow out of here. Seems to be pretty decent. I'm gonna go start buttoning up all the tins on the engine, kind of clean them up, and probably take it out and we'll run it for a while. Let the oil get hot, and I may be doing an oil change on it, but I also want to do an assessment on the transmission, make sure that's still functional, and we'll fire up the mower deck. But I don't want to do that because it doesn't have the chute on it And my bus is parked next to it, so the last thing I want to do is splatter it whatever crap is on there. So give me a few minutes, I'll get caught up. Turn the deck on, see what we get. I'm gonna let that run out there for a while. Everything seems to work, function, functions. Let it burn off all that crap and oil off the engine. It really should hit it with the pressure washer. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I gotta chase blades, the battery, and tune-up parts, and she should be good to go. I don't know if I want to wrap this one up here or not. Probably. You guys don't need to see any of that part. Yeah. So why don't we go call that a day right there, guys. I do appreciate everybody for watching, comment, subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next video. Later. I lied, I'm back. So pressure washed it. Looks better. Knocked a lot of the heavy stuff off anyway. I wanted to show you this. What do you think about that blade? Yeah. The other one's fine. That's more of a rototiller style, I guess. So, blades, battery, oil, and a couple of other little things, and should be ready to rock and roll. So now I'll say goodbye. Goodbye. So now I'm just going to take and get you out of the way. Collapse that spring enough to where I can get the keepers back in. They'll launch it across the room. Now did I call it or what? Oops.